Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Shrouded Sky patch notes. Patch update day. I am so excited, dude. I read through all the patch notes. There is a lot of good stuff. I'm very excited for this. So actually, I think I'm just going to leave it on the left side of the screen, and I'll just read through it with you all, and we could at least get the key pieces of the update here with it. So, first off, Shrouded Skies patch 1.17. Here's the highlight. We got a new map condition, 2 new arc enemies, the weather monitoring system, free raider deck has been added, map battleground update as well. I didn't miss that the first time. And the expedition window is now open. There's facial hair customization in the game, so we'll go through some of that. Oh, this was at the very top of it, I guess. Yeah, I must have just missed that and scrolled past it and started reading further down. The patch highlights, though, so they did some weapon balancing. The Stitcher, the Kettle, the Ventor. So basically, the Stitcher has less headshot damage. It's got less slower time to kill, so you're not going to be able to kill as quickly with it. This is the submachine gun that's gray. The Kettle now has less damage as well. Still has good headshot multiplier. They don't want it to be super good at close range, which is what it kind of does right now. The Ventor, they decreased the damage that it does, so also slower time to kill, but they also brought back that timing window where you got to shoot it perfectly right. You can't just spam the button. They made it not as bad as the past, from their words, where you really have to time it. They made it a little more forgiving, but you still have to time it. That was the big thing in the last patch, where I was saying the Ventor got a huge buff that you guys saw, was because they basically made it so you could just spam the button and shoot it super fast. But that was another thing they're fixing. Anyways, that's fixed now. Jupiter now pulls out faster. It zooms in more, so it should be easier to hit a headshot. This does the most headshot damage in the game. And the Aphelion, apparently, this was supposed to be a PvP legendary weapon. It's trash in PvP. I've used it a couple of... I even got it the other day on a free loadout. We killed somebody, picked it up, and I was using it for PvP. Terrible. Terrible. This gun's terrible, dude. Apparently, it's better now. They made it so it's 50% less kick. The problem was you would shoot it. The first shot might land, but then it kicks up in the air for the second shot because it's a 2-round burst. Second shot goes way over, and you'd miss. Well, now there's way less kick, and you could still put a grip on it to drop the kick even more. So that's a stacking benefit. Pulls it out faster. You move faster with it. This might be interesting. I'm really excited to try it. Now, they also added the pianos interactable. NVIDIA filters have been changed. I think you can still do the control panel, though. That seems to be working for me. Feats can also be re-rolled 3 times a day. There's no more PvP feats. That's how you get, like, these daily creds, I believe. The zip lines can't be put on objects, so there's all that glitch in, all that tech has been removed, and you can't even put mines and traps, raider flares on deployable objects anymore. So, like, launching the deadline and all those things that you've seen clips on has all been patched out of the game. All that tech is gone. High-level weapon balance, I just discussed a lot of the actual details of it, but I'll get into some more of it, and we'll read through some of this here. We shipped an update that included optimization fixes for weapons, but as many of you noticed, this had been unforeseen consequences of lowering the total fire rate of semi-automatic weapons. We reverted that fix, but something else made it into the update that shouldn't have. This was that super fast fire rate. Many of you guys reported a shadow buff to the weapons. I reported that. A very viral Ventor clip on that. Some of you guys might have seen. To the weapons, and after investigating it, we found that 1.13.1 had inadvertently impacted our weapon to impacted our weapon's input buffers. Okay, so input buffers. Listen to this. Where you previously would have to time your inputs for the intended cadence of a weapon to reach its full potential. You got to hit the timing. You can't click too fast or it'll just slow the rate of fire. You could now instead just spam click the button and effectively bypass any skill required to learn the weapon's cadence. We want to keep some of that skill expression, but we also recognize that what we had previously didn't feel very responsive. To address that and land in sort of a middle ground, we have since added more levers for us to control the weapons on the input buffering windows on a gun-to-gun basis, and we've adjusted the semi-auto weapons accordingly. In other words, it's not as bad as it was before, where you really had to be perfect with your clicks, but there's still going to be a benefit to clicking at the right time to maximize the weapon's full potential. The weapon should now still be more responsive to fire when spam clicked, but the players who choose to pace their shots will receive better results, which, of course, is going to be important, especially for PvP. There's still going to be some mastery there. In addition to these changes, we've also been looking into the balance between our low-tier and high-tier weapons. A lot of you have expressed concerns that low-tier weapons outperform their higher-tier significantly at a significantly reduced cost. So, like, you're using a Venator, and it's way better than any, like, the Patina is trash, right? You use the Kettle over the Patina any day, right? Well, maybe not any day, but definitely the Stitcher, okay? For sure. Anyways, we're hoping to shift that balance a bit while still keeping some of the flexibility to punch above your weight if you are skilled enough. We're starting by reducing the overall time to kill of the Stitcher and the Kettle and increasing the Jupiter maneuverability as well as the Aphelion. We'll talk about some more of the changes in a second. We've also taken a stab at the Venator. So yeah, that's the details on that. Now, these were the actual... I think this is really valuable read myself because I like to know what the devs are thinking. And they actually include it here, which is great. Also, Red, thank you for the 9 months. Also great. Sub to the page. Pupkeros, 10 months sub to the page. Gamer Dads, Sean, 15 months sub to the page. Hoger with the Prime sub in the page. Also, Hype Train level 2. Thank you, guys. Fast riding this week? I don't know. Tom hit me up to play, but we got a crew today, I think. We'll see. So this is the big thing. The Stitcher. The Stitcher has played a role. So this is some of the devs' thoughts on the Stitcher here. The Stitcher has played its role well as a close quarters weapon that rewarded thoughtful positioning, but we found that its fast time to kill can sometimes lead to situations where you're ambushed and killed before you even have time to react. As many of you have pointed out, the high headshot damage is a large contributor to this problem. This actually has higher time to kill, or higher headshot damage than the Bobcat. So if you hit headshots with this, it almost is the same as the Bobcat, but the fact that it's a gray and it's so much cheaper to make, it's so much cheaper, is insane. So a lot of people didn't even... I mean, I've been running the Bobcats and losing to the Toro anyways. But anyways, the time to kill is often fine when the weapon is aimed at center mass. But when you are close quarters, you land majority of headshots, the time to kill is crazy. And as such, I mean, I think it's like a 1.4, maybe 5 second time to kill on it. So you really can't even pull out of a menu fast enough to turn around and shoot somebody, let alone turn the fight if you're getting shot at. Which, there's not really any one-shot weapons in this game either, unless you deadline them. So there is generally higher time to kill in the game. But anyways, these changes aim to bring the headshot time to kill a bit closer to the body shot time to kill by both reducing the full spray accuracy of the weapon, which is critical, and reducing the headshot multiplier. So it's not just that the headshots do less damage. It also has an increased per-shot dispersion by around 50%. So it'll bloom faster as you shoot. That accuracy gets worse. Even if you're aiming correctly, it blooms out. So the first shot, you're going to get more accuracy. As you continue to hold it down, it gets worse. You can put the compensator on to help with that. And they also reduce the base damage of the weapon. So the Stitcher is... This is going to shift the meta, I think, a bit, because the Stitcher is kind of a crazy pull. I mean, the amount of people that I run into on Stella that are just running a Stitcher that kill me, that's just a gray Stitcher, or I kill them and, you know, it's fully kitted Stitcher. It's a very common gun to run. I see 10 times more of those than Bobcats, not just because the Bobcat is more expensive, but also because the Stitcher is just that good. Now the Kettle. This gun was bonkers for a long time because you could just click it at ultimate fire rate, and a lot of people were macroing with this so they could shoot at full fire rate. It was some people that were just that good. We all know the best players in the game are not macroing. Okay, I'm trolling a little bit. I'm sorry. But this was a gun that was abused. They brought the fire rate of it down. And so here's the dev note of what they have to say about the new update that they did. The Kettle's been out in a weird place. Its high damage output was intended to be used in a more medium range setting with a more deliberate pace, but we see many people are bringing it into close quarters and effectively turning it into a submachine gun. Even before the patch, there was kind of a middle state where they nerfed it and it was terrible, and then they did an update that kind of switched it so that you could just spam click it and you weren't penalized for not timing it perfectly. Now the timing window is also back on this, so that's kind of already going to be a little bit of a nerf, but this is their logic behind it. We want to distinguish it more from the Stitcher as well, but we also see that you enjoy the versatility of the weapon, so we're reducing the base damage to bring the time to kill more in line, but we're keeping the high headshot multiplier to see if we can push players to go for more headshots. So you're kind of going to have to time the shot. You're going to have to hit the headshot. Ideally, they want this more of a mid-range. You can see quite a big damage nerf to it overall. What is that, like 15% decrease? So I'm interested to see how the Kettle plays now. We also have the Venator. This gun has been crazy. How many of you guys have only been running Venators or running into Venators in PvP, especially? Chat. Ming, also in the chat, brand new sub on the page. Aimless RSA, also welcome to the squad alongside Ming T. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Venator and the Toro. Those are the only two guns to use. Why use anything else? They're cheaper. They're more effective. Guess what? The devs have found the same thing that we've been finding. Dude. Okay, so let's see. What's the dev note on the update today? Dev note. Since the last nerfs to the Venator in 1.3.0, we've kept an eye on our data to see how it performs. During this time, many of you have raised concerns that it's still dominating PvP. And guess what? Our data has shown that it is one of the highest performing weapons in the game right now. Yes, it is. For a weapon of this tier, we want it to perform well. It's only a blue gun. It's not even a purple. It's definitely not a legendary, but it's pretty much a legendary, right? And it's cheaper to make. So the fact that it's blue is even crazier. But maybe not this well. It's performing too well. We're looking at an overall nerf to its damage to bring down the time to kill. And if that doesn't work, we might need to look into its ammo consumption and cost efficiency. So this is, they're telling us they're nerfing it now, and they're gonna nerf it again. I'm guessing even with these changes, they're gonna nerf it again because of how versatile it is. I don't think this is gonna be enough. Although, we'll see. Okay, they're making the headshot multiplier down from a 2.5 to a 2. That is quite a drop. And they're reducing the base damage on top of that. So this is going to take a couple extra shots to kill. But even as such, the gun's super accurate, still super cheap to make. Great at range, good at close range. You get 22 bullets in a mag for the blue mag. Kind of crazy. So, yeah, we'll see how the Venator goes. My guess is we'll get another nerf with it for where it's placed, but we'll see. We'll see. The Jupiter, though, this one I'm kind of excited for. Dev note, in PvP, the Jupiter does... Okay. The Jupiter, if you guys haven't seen it...
elevating the game for sure.
Dude, it's like a good... I don't know. I'm hoping that the game's not actually broken. So the Jupiter, this is the legendary sniper rifle in the game. And I've used this thing in PvP. It has been the best PvP weapon that I've seen. And the devs have even said in their own words, apparently the Aphelion was supposed to be the golden... That was supposed to be the PvP weapon. But this, being able to snipe from range with it is... It's kind of cool. I don't think it's necessarily the best. The long shot, the long reload, because you have to charge it up to shoot it and everything. But this is what the devs have to say with it and the buff to it today. In PvP, the Jupiter does the most headshot damage in the game, but it's quite difficult to hit headshots with at longer ranges especially. You're also quite vulnerable when you use it at closer ranges, since missing a shot, you're a sitting target until you either reload or swap weapons. Even just rechambering the round is very slow, let alone going for a full reload. We've increased how much zoom when you ADS to give you a better view of the targets, because of course this doesn't actually have an optic and it's a sniper rifle. It's not the clearest. Hopefully it's a pretty dramatic zoom on it. But even, you know, it's not even really. It's a small change here that they're actually making to the zoom. But hopefully it helps. I think it's actually already cool, but I think this is actually kind of nice. We'll see how big of a difference it makes, but they've reduced the equip and unequip time, making it easier to swap to a secondary, which, if you're running a Ven, is a quick swap to, or if you run a light stock for the faster weapon swap on whatever secondary you're using, this could be interesting. So I'm definitely using this. I'm very excited to use the Jupiter. Now, the Aphelion. This, I couldn't even believe it when I read this dev note, because this didn't make sense to me. We weren't quite happy with the previous balance of the Aphelion. Yeah, they added the matriarch. You need a matriarch queen or a matriarch reactor in order to make one of these things. It's extremely high cost. It is decently effective against arc because of the penetration. Like, it'll knock the legs off of a queen pretty quick, but it definitely wasn't good for PvP. I used this. I tried this many times in PvP to lose many weapons. I even tried a Aphelion only when I found it on a free kit. It was so bad. It was terrible. Slow fire rate. You shoot a shot. It's a 2-round burst. So the first one goes out. The second one kicks up into the air. And you miss anyways. And then it's got a long time between shots. Doesn't even do that much damage. So anyways, they said it was intended to be more of a PvP-focused legendary weapon. That was crazy to me. That was crazy to me. But it couldn't quite keep up with the pacing of other PvP weapons. No, it couldn't. We've made some changes to make it feel less bulky and a bit more nimble to use to make it more viable in PvP. The base reload time's down a second. They reduced the time between shots by 0.7. I think this is actually bigger than you think. They reduced the vertical recoil by 50%. And here's the thing. The Aphelion, you can also put a grip on as well. So you can stack that benefit of it, which is kind of sick. They also improved the ADS settle speed by 35%. So you should be able to take your shots more accurately between the shots too. Now, I think this is still going to be more like a Jupiter. It's going to be like a long-range type sniper, but it's got me excited to actually try to run this thing because if the 2 shots, even if you can get the vertical recoil under control and you get the 2 shots to go in the exact same spot, now you've got a serious beefy weapon to snipe with. Okay, the rest of this, super cool updates as well. Energy clip now available in the workbench by default. If you wanted to craft this, energy ammo for your guns, for all the energy guns, you had to get the equalizer blueprint. The Jupiter blueprint didn't work. The Aphelion blueprint didn't work. You had to get the equalizer blueprint. That is what unlocked the ability to craft the energy clip. That is just now by default. You can make it. Now, I don't know if they nerfed the money you get from this, but a pro tip for the money as well, when you craft energy ammo, this only goes for like 1,000, maybe 500. Batteries are super cheap, but it makes 5 energy ammo, and that sells for 5,000. Look, it still shows, so this should still work. So if you need to make some money quick, if you can kill some big arc and get these large arc power cells, you can up your money dramatically by making it into this. I'll even show you if you want. If I go down to the money that I can make from one of these is 640. So it's, I mean, it's not even 1,000. So with one of these and 2 batteries, craft it here, and you make 5 energy clips that you can sell for 5,000. Big money maker, free tip, use it, make some money, get the expedition done. Okay? Now, what else can I do? I'll catch up with chat in a second as well. No, I'm streaming everywhere. Fancy Pants, thank you for the 14 months. James Games, also with the Prime sub. Thank you so much, my man. Item value and cost changes. Following item values have been changed. I'll just give you the high level on this. All of these are now more expensive to buy, more expensive to sell, but they also added arc components to craft it. So if you want to make a deadline now, it's harder to make. Look at this. Now you need a comet igniter. What the f is that? I don't know. Not my finest work there. I'm working on it. Okay, Trailblazer now requires new arc part. Where's the Trailblazer? Should be a nade, right? Boom. Trailblazer, you need a Firefly burner to craft that. Get a load of this, though. A wolf pack now requires a Rocketeer drive. They're out of their mind. These things better do triple the damage to a Rocketeer. Triple! Vita Spray, I always was on the fence of even using this. I like them, but it's hard to, like, you got to swap your bag so much and everything for it. They need to triple the charge that a Vita Spray gives you.
Drops advanced arc cells.
Shh. When I'm deodorizing myself, I need triple the deodorant, man. I'm sweaty in these PvP lobbies. These need to be... And it's now going to cost a tick pod, too? Are you kidding me? I'm not... I got to exfil tick pods. He's only stacked 3. Tick pods should stack more than 3 if I'm going to be doing... Anyways, that's harder. Showstoppers. Hold on. This is actually kind of better. They made it so that the advanced component is just an electrical component. Hold on. I might not need a rage right now. Hold on. Oh, you need a Hornet driver for it. Those are just a pain. But, they, you know, kind of crazy. That's significantly harder. Wait a second. Versus what it was before. You would just craft these. That was it. And these were a little tough to make, but not that crazy. But I mean, I got stacks of showstoppers. I got so many showstoppers. I don't even like using them, though, because they don't even stun players long enough. Dude, they're making all this way harder. Doesn't seem like much, but that is, especially the Rocketeer, this seems crazy. That seems crazy to me. Right? Jim, thank you for the 500. Frank Castle also with the Prime. Easy, thank you for the 5 back there as well.
Somebody get this man a Valium, quick.
What is that for, like, dysfunction or something? Anyways, content and bug fixes. Okay, I went through all of these. There was a couple standout ones. Let me see if I could find what it was. Polished equipment. There was a lot of animation stuff. Yeah, I don't think there was... Oh, this was kind of nice. Hornets now keep their upper armor when you loot them. Reduce the cases of sentinel shots, past their geometry. Scrappy doesn't make as much noise. They fixed some of the audio. I thought this was birds perched on zip lines now screech with the correct position. One thing that I hear is like I hear the screech of the birds when it's just ambient sound. I don't like that. That drives me nuts. But, like, you think that it's the birds taking off because somebody walked through it. You know what I mean? And they added beards. We got to get that done. I think that was the most of it, though. So I think we're going to just go from there. Oh, yeah. They added this, too. So pop ticks and spotter relays, they actually now have a use. Spotter relays, they can be deployed to trap as a trap that lures nearby arc. So you can use them as like a lure nade. The pop triggers, you can roll them and then they explode, which maybe that'll be cool. You can field craft a shaker instrument. Oh, and they fixed the unintended behavior of the snap hook, causing players to be pulled after being canceled. So we got to go try that.